Welcome to the fourth module of the Grassroots webinar. In the first module, we presented an overview of the WBSC, the Coach Commission Project, and the role of the coach at the entry level. In the second module, we went through the proper way to warm up, as well as the correct fundamentals when catching and throwing a ball. In the third module, we covered fielding ground balls and catching fly balls. The focus of the fourth module will be hitting and running the bases. Let's start with the presentation. Before discussing the technical aspects of hitting, we would like to discuss some basic but fundamental concepts that every coach should follow and adopt as their own principles. All kids are not alike. Everyone has their own personality and character. As coaches, we should be able to find the proper way to communicate with all of them, working to build confidence and rewarding their effort rather than their successes. With the word confidence, we want to instill the feeling and knowing that the kid will be able to swing the bat and hit the ball. As you can see by the pictures on the slide, we have divided the act of hitting into 6 phases. We will briefly go through these phases before going into a deeper explanation on the following slide. Number 1, it's important to choose the right bat. Number 2, we will teach how to grip the bat in the proper way. Number 3 is the position in the batter's box. Number 4 is the stance. Number 5 is the visualization of the ball. And finally, number 6 is the swing. At the grassroots level, the first 5 points are probably more important than the swing itself. It seems like a paradox because everybody thinks that the swing is the only thing that matters when hitting. But the first 5 points are critical steps that are all part of a fundamentally sound swing. The swing is much more technical and will develop over time as the players do themselves. Let's play a short video where we'll explain in a little more detail the 6 phases of hitting. We start by choosing the right bat considering 2 important factors, length and weight. In terms of length, longer bats tend to be heavier, which could affect the swinging technique and more importantly the hitter's ability to control their swing. Selecting the right bat usually depends on the kid's hand size, preference, and control. Have the kids try multiple bats with different lengths and weights. It is okay to experiment during the hitting drills in finding the right bat for each player. When teaching the proper grip, place the bat at the base of the fingers of both hands. Do not hold the bat only with the fingers or in the fleshy part of the palm of the hand. This will limit hand action. The 2 hands should be touching with no space in between. Make sure the knuckles of the player's top hand are aligned with the knuckles on their bottom hand. To understand if the grip is correct, have the kids extend their index fingers of both hands and make sure they are perfectly parallel. For the position in the batter's box, the height, arm extension, and the bat choice are all factors as to where the kid stands from the plate. In general, for this level, we want to keep it simple and recommend that kids put their right foot, for a right-handed batter, on the front side of home plate, then the left foot behind their right foot, then their right foot on the side of their left foot, followed by a step back towards the catcher to spread their 2 legs. For a lefty, it will be exactly the same thing, just switching their feet. In the video, you can see a few examples of wrong feet placement and position of the box, which happens frequently with beginners. When discussing the proper stance, let's remember that hitting is an aggressive, athletic action. Feeling comfortable at the plate is more important. A general rule to a stance is to keep the feet shoulder width apart. As the stance is the foundation of the swing, the kid must be well balanced and be able to react athletically. We would recommend beginning with an even stance as it is easier to maintain good balance throughout the swing. Start with a light crouch, slight bend at the waist and knees. This is an athletic position that will help distribute the weight properly. Hips, shoulders, and head will be level. Your hand should hold the bat fairly close to the body, no more than 4 to 8 inches away. Start with your hands sternum high and raise or lower for comfort. Since you cannot hit what you cannot see, it is critical to keep your eyes on the ball. With 2 eyes on the tee, the head remains steady and level. The eyes will stay focused on the ball. To repeat, watch the ball. The last phase to discuss is the swing. As we already mentioned, we will not spend much time working on the swinging mechanics at the grassroots level. When you swing, be sure to see the ball's contact with your bat and through the follow-through of the swing. You should be hitting the ball out in front of your lead foot. The kids in the video are a good example. At this level, we do not care about the result of their swing and instead are focused on their hand-eye coordination. For a beginner, if the first 5 phases are correct, the swing and contact will not be an issue. As we said in the previous slide, at the grassroots level, we do not put significant focus on drills aimed at fixing the mechanics of the swing. Instead, we focus on 2 concepts that we will go through in the videos on this slide. The first video is called batting practice. Once we are sure the kids know the first 5 phases that we just discussed, we have the children hitting, one at a time, from home plate, with the rest of the kids spread throughout the field to play the batted balls in order to simulate game speed. The main focus of this hitting drill is to be sure that they see the ball and swing the bat hard. Again, we cannot stress enough to not spend a lot of time on giving technical tips and to instead encourage and motivate the kids. In the video, the kids are swinging with the coach tossing the ball. If the kid fails to hit the ball, and that happens frequently for beginners, the use of a batting tee could be necessary, as we have already seen in the video on the previous slide. The second video is called Over the Line. If in the first video the concept was see the ball, hit the ball, here the concept is learn while playing. We set up a field with the shape of a square, approximately 15 meters per side. We use wiffle balls or sponge balls, or something soft. We split the kids in 2 teams of equal numbers. The players on the offensive team, one at a time, try to hit the ball inside the field square. The defensive players, spread throughout the field, try to catch the ball. If the ball is caught in the air or it bounces outside the field, the result is an out. Vice versa, if the defense doesn't catch the ball and it bounces inside the field, it's a run or a point. After 5 outs, the 2 teams switch from offense to defense and vice versa. You can play as many innings as you want or according to the time available. At the grassroots level, we do not want to become too detailed with information regarding base running. Instead, we focus on a few main points. 1, the name of the bases. 2, the proper path when running. 3, the right point when stepping on the base. 4, when to run through a base or stop on a base. And 5, running in game situations. The very first information is the name of the 4 bases. The starting point for much of the action on the field is home plate, or officially known as home base, which is a 5-sided slab of whitened rubber, 17 inches square, with 2 of the corners removed so that one edge is 17 inches long, 2 adjacent sides are 8.5 inches, and the remaining 2 sides are 12 inches, and set at an angle to make a point. The plate is set into the ground such that its surface is level with the surrounding ground. The other 3 bases are first, second, and third base. 3 canvases or rubber bases, 15 inches square and 3.5 inches in thickness, made of soft material, mark the 3 bases. Other important information that looks obvious to the people already involved in the sport or who have seen at least one baseball or softball game is the running path. In the video on the left of the screen, we have the right path, which is counterclockwise. The kid, after he hits the ball, starts running to first base and then continues around the other bases in the correct path, counterclockwise. In the video on the right, we have the wrong path. As you can see, this player is running in the wrong direction, clockwise to third base. If this happens in a game, the player will be ruled out. When the batter hits a ground ball and the ball is fielded by one of the defensive players in the infield, the batter must run straight to first base and try to beat the throw of the defense, following the line, which is the shortest distance. Where is the right point where the foot has to step on the base? There is only one answer: the front side of the base, in the center, as we see in the picture on the left of the screen. Why is this? This is done for two reasons. First, for timing, as the front side of the base is the closest one to reach for the runner. As you can see in the second picture, stepping on the back side of the base takes more time. Second, for safety. Looking at the third picture on the screen, if the runner steps on top of the base, which is incorrect and dangerous, the base could be slippery and the runner could hurt an ankle or a knee. Similar consequences showed in the picture on the right of the screen where the player steps on the external side of the base. The base is not flat and the runners could potentially hurt their ankle, foot, or knee, causing a serious injury. Let's watch a short video that shows the proper way to step on first base. Now we will discuss where to step on the base when a runner is rounding the base. First, we will watch a short video to give you a better idea of what we are discussing. The batter, after hitting a single that passes the infielders, is not running straight to the base, but creating an angle to round the base with more speed. Where should he step on the base? If you look at the two pictures in the left and the left center of the screen compared to the one on the right and right center of the screen, it is easy to see that the right answer is in the inside corner of the base, or the internal side. This is done for two reasons. First, the two pictures on the left and left center represent the shortest distance when the runner is trying to advance to the next base. Second, for safety. As we already discussed on the previous slide, stepping on top of the base or on the external corner can be dangerous. Now we will show, with video examples, when to run through the base and pass it, or when to stay on the base. Let's start with the video on the left. You can see the batter that is running through first base. In this situation, if he gets to first base safe, he can pass the base, and even if the defensive player tags him when not in contact with the base, the runner still remains safe. A runner wants to run through first base when trying to beat a throw from a defensive player. If the same thing happens in terms of the runner being tagged by a defensive player while not in contact with second or third base, the runner will be ruled out. Let's play the video on the right of the screen. At second and third base, once the runner gets the appropriate base in a situation where they are not forced to run to either base, and the defensive player holds the ball and tags the runner, as long as the runner remains in contact with the base, they remain safe. Now we will explain how to run the bases in different game situations. When a batter hits the ball and begins to run to first base with the goal of being safe, what happens with the other runners or runners that were already on base? Do they have to run and advance to the next base? Or do they remain on the same base? Many situations can happen during a game, but first things first, it's important to explain the concept of force and a non-force plays. To make it simple, let's just start with the fact that two runners cannot stay on the same base at the same time. Hence, Once a ball is hit, the runners on base need to make space for the batter that is now running to try and reach first base safely. Which means, with the situation of one runner at first base, he is forced to run towards second. Whereas with the situation of a runner at second base without a runner at first, the runner at second can decide to run to third or stay at second. Therefore, he is not forced to run. To summarize, whenever a runner is on a base and there is no runner on the preceding base, that runner is not forced to run after the ball is hit. Let's watch the video on the left of the screen. There is an animation first, then a real video that shows a situation of a force play with the runners at second and first base. After the batter hits the ball, all runners are forced to advance to the next base. The video in the center of the screen shows a non-force play. As you can see, there is a runner at second base, but nobody at first base. The runner at second is not forced to run. The batter hits a ground ball to the shortstop, and the runner at second moves back to the base because the first base is empty and can be occupied by the batter that is now trying to reach first base safely. The principle is always applicable when a ball is hit on the ground and there are less than 2 outs in the inning. But what happens when a ball is hit in the air or there are 2 outs? Let's move in order. What happens on a fly ball? When a ball is hit in the air, the runners can advance only after the ball is caught by the opposing team. For such reason, when this happens, all runners on base, no matter if in a force or non-force situation, react by getting within a short distance off of the base and wait to see if the ball is caught or not caught. If the ball is caught before it hits the ground, the runners must go back to the base they were occupying when the pitch was delivered to the batter. Vice versa, if the ball touches the ground because it is out of reach or because it is dropped, then the runners reacts based on force or non-force play situation previously described. So, if force, they must try to reach the following base. If non-force, they can still stay on their base or advance to the next base, depending on their ability to advance safely to the next base. In the last video, on the right of the screen, we'll watch the fly ball situations that we just described. With a runner at second base, the batter hits a fly ball. The runner gets a short distance off of the base. When the outfielder misses the ball, the runner advances to the next base, or third base in this situation. In the second part of the video, there's still a runner at second base. When the batter hits the ball, the runner gets a short distance off of the base. Once the outfielder catches the ball, the runner spits back to their base, or in this situation, second base. And what about a 2-out situation? If there are 2 outs in the inning, the runner does not have to worry in case a ball is caught in the air, as that would be the 3rd out of the inning, which will end their offensive turn anyway. So with 2 outs, the runner starts running as soon as the ball is hit, no matter if the ball is on the ground or in the air. After discussing the main points when teaching base running at the grassroots level, let's watch the video of a drill called 4-base relay. This is a really good exercise. It's a relay along the 4 bases that force the children to learn the proper running angles to be faster along the base path. And as always, competition makes the players learn faster. In the video, we see a 4-team relay where we have split the kids into 4 teams of equal numbers. In case of odd number players, the team missing a kid will have someone to repeat the exercise twice. The teams will start on different bases. When the coach gives the green light, the first kid on every team will start running through the 4 bases, and once back to their original base, the next kid from their team will start their leg around the bases. This will continue until every kid on each team has completed their length around the bases. The team that has their final runner finish last is out of the competition. If one of the players misses the base, the team is automatically out of the contest. As you can see in the video, once we are down to the final 2 teams, we place 1 team at home plate and 1 team at second base. In terms of what distance should be used between the bases, we recommend to keep the same distance that kids will have to run in the games according to their age. The 4th module of the Grassroots webinar has been completed. Thank you for watching, and as always, it's game time.